BYDFi is a crypto exchange on desktop and mobile where you can spot trade, futures trade, use leverage tokens, and copy the trades of top traders. If you sign up with the link in the description, you get a free $100 when you deposit $100. There's hundreds of crypto available on their spot exchange, as well as a free test account so you can practice futures trading without getting wrecked. BYDFi. Good morning, everybody. We're going to have a look at Ocean Protocol. That's right. I've got a love-hate relationship with this thing. I bought it low. I never sold it high. I kept it on a fundamental level, believe it or not, rather than a technical. Basically, it's not moved for me for 4 years. But that doesn't mean I can't look at it from time to time and try and apply some technical analysis to it. The one thing about it, at least now, is that, yeah, it might have been basically sideways for a prolonged period of time, but it's got a few years on it now, at least. So maybe we could think about what it is that we're seeing. So based on the weekly, doesn't look very good, to be fair. Rejection on the 21 exponential. That might as well be a Bollinger Band rejection there, and that comes in on the USDT pair at just below 34 cents. But when you start to take it down a notch, things start to look a little bit better. We've got this horizontal line of significance. I appreciate the chart is relatively noisy here. We've got this horizontal line that corresponds to these levels after this big run, and then we had a descending triangle which we broke out from, created another descending triangle which we faked out from. We came down to this major support level down here, and now we're crossing back above this level. So you could consider this bit down here, like between 28 to 34. A bit of an accumulation zone. Really, we should be extending this here to look for a potential breakout. We are more or less pushing towards that, and not only that, we're pushing up on a 200 exponential moving average in the form of a death cross. That's right. So if we're going to get rejected from anywhere, it's going to be right here, right now, today, and that'll be it. And then we come back down further and we think about maybe sort of buying some around 28 and a half cents, right? Okay, that's fair enough. There's a setup for you there. However, if it were to break out from here, this would be a fake out from the death cross, and actually pretty bullish because it would come out of a descending triangle with a breakout, a possible rejection on the 200 simple moving average around 35. But being at that point, at that stage there, if you continued on from there, it'll be a full-on breakout, an absolutely epic breakout with a measured move up to around about 55 or beyond. Now, trades at 2 million here. It only trades at a measly 3 bitcoins in a 24-hour period. That's kind of sickening. We'll look at that one in a minute just from a technical perspective. So really what we're thinking about is rejection here, classic rejection, death cross retest and a pullback down to these lower zones. So spot positions, I suppose, anyone spot trading this or wanting to get your foot in the door, I think it's reasonable to imagine that we do come down to 28.5 cents, and that would be a nice little place to pick some ocean up. If we break out from here though, then yeah, a nice big move. From a risk to reward basis, you wouldn't really want to be putting in any futures trades at a resistance. Recognize that I am talking about a major resistance right now, but if it were to break that resistance, and again, we don't long resistances unless like the market is super bullish, which it's not really. We're looking at a possible 77% move on Ocean here, right up to the top of that measured move. That's the top of it. Realistically, we should be talking around 50 to 55, really. But yeah, 70% move, give or take, you know, if it were to break out from here. Let's take it down a notch again to the 4-hourly to see what's going on over here. Okay, so we've not quite formed it yet. An approaching and encroaching golden cross. So death cross daily. Golden cross, it looks like it's likely to happen at some point today, provided we're above this major level of resistance support, which is 32.5. It looks like the golden cross is going to be achieved on a 4-hourly, and so you'll be looking for a retest of that. So this, I suppose, could be where a futures trader might want to get over optimistic and pull back into that level around 32.5. Again, there's not much to it, but again, you want to try and be as conservative as possible when you're dealing with big moves up and down. So Ocean simmering something going on here, right? I don't know if anyone's ever noticed it, but there are some coins that like to do their own thing on occasion, and Ocean seems to be one of them. And again, it's not a great chart, let's face it. It peaked at $2. Now we're back down here. So full epic retracement, not unlike any other crypto. But on the shorter term time frames, something interesting appears to be taking place. And if we do break out from here, we're talking moves of around 70%. Now, if we take it to the Bitcoin pair on the 4-hourly, she's good. She is good. She's very good. And she's got our golden cross with a retest and a second retest and continuing to move up, finding a bit of resistance around this 1300 sat zone with a view to move up to 1360, 1370, where I'd expect a resistance to live around these levels. So that's where their resistance dwells on the short-term timeframes. However, let's take it up a notch. We'll take it to a 12-hourly now. See what's going on here. A fresh golden cross on the 12-hourly with a view to pull back into that. It would be around 12.20. That's then exponential golden cross. Simple golden cross, probably going to take a couple of days, and we've got to remain above 1200 sats. So, okay, interesting stuff. We've got pump signal as well, which is good. The pump signal generated more or less at where that 10 exponential is, which exists around 1264. So the 12-hourly looks good on the Bitcoin pair for continuation. And this also, I suppose, comes into the idea that we are at resistance at this very moment in time, but breaking the resistance on the USDT pair and breaking the resistance on the Bitcoin pair would probably lead to a significant pumperoo. Again, resistance at this very moment in time, as we speak. Pump signal has been just avoided. We didn't get a closure above that cloud. The cheeky span over here needs to close above the cloud in this instance to create the pump signal. So we think about where we are right now and a measured move up to this first level of resistance, just a measly 6%, with a view for a 20% move on its Bitcoin pair. Breaking out of this zone, though, would actually be pretty decent and a full-on move up towards, well, let's not call it the 90, but yeah, 70s, in the 70% zone for a full pumperoo. And again, it can definitely do it. The market, even though it's like Groundhog Day, every time I turn on my computer or look at my phone, there's Bitcoin sitting around 25,700 or thereabouts. And it's not entirely sure exactly what it wants to do. Now, counter to what we saw at the beginning of the video with the Tether pair, the Bitcoin pair has closed and continues to close so far on this weekly above all the moving averages. So the most notable is going to be the 21 and the 20 simple, which sits down here at 1220. So again, 1220 sats seems like a place to consider a buy for its Bitcoin pair. So I'm just going to put it to you that there is something changing here for Ocean, and what it's doing now is it's trench warfare. It's right on the front of the battleground now, literally at resistance. But if I was to give it the benefit of the doubt, even though I would not want to long this at resistance, which is crazy, as a Ocean hodler of probably disproportionate size to what it should be in my portfolio. It's quite a large one, it has been, and I was accumulating this for the majority of the last bull market, and I did buy some more of it this bull market, well, if you want to call it that, at the beginnings, the humble beginnings of this bull market as we were down here. I'm more than optimistic, to be honest with you, to see the way that the weekly is forming right now. It does look quite good, definitely with its Bitcoin pair. I know that the Bitcoin pair trades for peanuts, but as far as this is concerned, actually looks quite good. So I'm going to give it a thumbs up over here for Ocean Protocol, with a potential top move of 70 or so %. Based on the daily and the weekly, if Bitcoin can behave itself, then we'll be looking for a move towards 2,000 sats, roughly, give or take. Recognize the fresh cross, hopefully going to take place. It's not above or even at the 0 point on the weekly here, but there looks like a change of momentum, and it could give us that 70% move towards 2,000. Right, thank you for watching. I hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.